Kia ora! For many of us, Wednesday is looking like another dry and settled day. However, we have got some severe weather watches for places like Fiordland, Westland and down towards Southland and across and towards the Canterbury High Country once we head towards the end of Wednesday and more especially through and towards Thursday for Anzac Day. So do keep a close eye on those. We'll cover those in a little bit, but let's start off with looking at Wednesday. Generally, for New Zealand, most of us will find it's a dry and settled day, especially across the North Island. More cloud on the western side. For the South Island, there are some showers or some spells of rain on that western coast, mainly for Fiordland and towards the ranges of Westland. But you can see as we head towards the end of the day, this next feature moves in from the far south and the west, and it will bring some heavy rainfall towards places like Westland, particularly up and towards the Western District, and also in towards Fiordland. And ahead of this front, we'll find those strengthening northwesterly winds through parts of, say, Southland, Fiordland, Otago and the Canterbury High Country. So it is looking like a rather windy night as we head through Wednesday and into Thursday morning. But for the North Island, Wednesday is looking pretty settled. Plenty of dry weather for most of us throughout the daytime. There'll be more cloud around those western-facing coasts for places like, say, that western coast of Auckland, down towards Waikato, Taranaki and in towards the Kapiti region. But out towards, say, Wellington, and on this eastern side and up towards the Bay of Plenty, there's plenty of clear, dry and sunny conditions throughout the daytime. And even in the west, I think there will be some brightness and some sunshine as we head through the day. Now, most of us should find it's a dry story for Wednesday, but up in the far north, we will find a front that sinks in and it does bring the chance of a few showers in towards parts of Northland, but still plenty of dry weather. And our temperatures are not too bad either. Highs between about 19 and 20 degrees Celsius across those northern areas. And as we head down to Wellington, 17 degrees Celsius, and our overnight temperatures of about 14 in the capital. As we head down towards the south side, a bit of that east-west split once again with more cloud from, say, Buller down to Fiordland. And we have got some of that wet weather in towards Fiordland and the Western District. Any showers north of, say, Westport, very few and far between, but I think still a chance of an odd one here and there. We might find an odd shower skirts Invercargill first thing in the morning, but that clears away and most of the day it's a dry one for you. High cloud though starts to feed in as we head through the afternoon. But for most of Southland and up in towards Canterbury and Marlborough, and even across in towards Nelson, it stays dry through the day with plenty of clear sky before that high cloud arrives later on. What you can see though on these charts, that next area of wet weather waiting to come towards us and some strengthening winds as well through parts of Southland by the end of the day on Wednesday. So it is worth keeping an eye on the forecast, but for most of the day on Wednesday, a pretty decent one with some nice temperatures as well out towards that eastern side. Highs in places like Blenheim and Christchurch back to around about 21 degrees Celsius. Now on in towards Anzac Day, we are going to find that wetter and windier weather starts creeping towards the south island. The heaviest rainfall on those western sides of the country, particularly towards the Western District and Fiordland. But we'll also find some strengthening winds through parts of, say, Southland, Otago and the Canterbury High Country. So by the time we get through to about 6 a.m. on Thursday, it will be a windy story down south, with some of that rainfall just to clear away for perhaps those early morning dawn services through parts of, say, Southland, but generally a wet one on that western coast, drier through parts of Canterbury, so a good looking day, a good looking start today in Christchurch. Watch out for those winds, and a windy story for Wellington as well, but likely to stay dry here as well for your dawn services. And a similar story up towards Auckland, likely to be dry first thing, but I think we'll keep hold of a fair covering of cloud. The main focus of the weather will be down that far southern part of the country as we head through the night time Wednesday into Thursday, and there are some severe weather watches for rain to start with from as early as 9 p.m. on Wednesday in Fiordland, and that runs right the way through to Friday. And we're going to find that rainfall up in towards Westland as well. There's also a severe weather watch for the wind across those southern parts of the South Island and the Canterbury High Country as we head towards the end of the day on Wednesday, right the way through in towards Thursday as well. There's more information about those on the Met Service website, so keep an eye on those for all the latest information. As we head through the rest of Anzac Day, you can see this front continues to move northwards up in towards Buller. Some heavier falls through there, but the eastern side of the country generally staying dry. As we head in towards the afternoon evening, that wet weather transfers on towards the North Island. Some heavier falls again, perhaps in towards parts of, say, the Taurua district, up in towards the high parts of Taranaki as well. Of places like Auckland, I think most of the day it should stay dry, but just that chance of an afternoon shower on Thursday. And that's it from me. This is more at metservice.com.